Good morning, everyone. It's Karen Hooley, and welcome to this week's Live Wednesday with Karen. I'm so excited to be here, and it feels like it's been forever. I cannot even remember when the last time I went live. I didn't go check, but it was a while. So I'm so glad to be here. It's good to see everybody who's here. I see that you are all starting to join us. I am going to pop it. Okay, so I am being told I have unstable Wi-Fi. So if I break up, I'm apologizing up front. I don't know why. We've been having some issues with our Wi-Fi in the last few days, so I'm not sure what's going on. Just so you guys know. I'm going to pop into the chat room and I am going to see who's all here. First, we have Linda and Daisy. Yay! Hi, Daisy. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad that you pushed the thumbs up button. So thank you for doing that. Pat, good morning. It's good to see you. So glad you're here. And Judy's here, and it's afternoon. So good morning from me, but good afternoon for you. I'm glad you're here. I'm going to wait for a few more people to pop in, but today I'm going to do a little bit of a recap of being at the Dallas-Fort Worth Fiber Fest. I also, since the last time I was here, this little mug reminded me. I'm going to pull this off my shelf. Hang on. I don't know how many of you saw this in my background, but this little mug with sheep. I was at, we have an event here that just went back live after COVID, just the first part of September, called Fiber with a Twist. And it's put on by the North and the Desert Fiber Arts Guild here locally. The Northwest Spinners Guild encompasses Washington, Idaho, Oregon. I'm not 100% sure about Nevada, but I know it's Oregon, Washington, and Idaho for sure. I think even Western Montana. But anyway, our local people put on this event, and I had to buy this. This was just too cute. This little sheep mug. One of the vendors there had these, so I had to get it. Of course, I'm not supposed to have more mugs, but I had to get this one. It was so cute. The vendor actually threw the mug, and she also hand painted it and fired it and all that stuff. So I just had to show you guys that, since I haven't been on in a while. So I wanted to make sure you guys saw that. And that wasn't in the plan, but I saw it in the background. So I wanted to show you guys. Let's see who else is here. I see Renee is here. Good morning. It's good to see you here. And Carlene, good morning. And the mug is so cute. It is. I could not resist it. It was just too cute. Anyway, I'm going to just jump right into the giveaway. First of all, I'm going to put it on the screen right now. I'm giving away a copy of the newly released pattern. It's the honeycomb pattern. It was released earlier this month. I'm going to try to get another picture, a couple pictures up here. Oops, there we go. So there's, you can see it. It's actually, everybody's really liked it. So but what's really cool about it is you get the basic stitches, but you could turn it into a cowl. You could turn it into a tote bag if you wanted to. You just, as long as you have the stitches to make these little post stitches honeycomb, you can do whatever you want with it. So this is the pattern I'm giving away. And if you would like to enter to win that pattern, just type in #honey. So if you would like to win that one, go ahead and hit #honey. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that there for a second. I have a lot to remind you about, because I had to write a whole list for me because it's been so long of the things I wanted to do today. So just a reminder, if you have a question for me, okay, and this is so important, don't just type the question. I need you to type a Q and a space and then the question. Because if I don't see that Q there, I don't know that it's a question. So really, really, I'm going to say that again. Make sure you type the Q first and then and then do the question. The only reason I am doing that is because I'm going to be doing a lot today. Showing you a lot, and I probably won't get to the questions until after I show you everything. So I want to be sure that I see your questions. So remember, a Q, a space, and then the question, and then hit enter, and we'll see it. Okay. I am going to take that off screen for right now. So for those of you who'd like to enter, make sure you do. Am I breaking up? Can you let me know in the chat if you're having some instability with me talking? Because I notice you guys aren't chatting as fast as you usually do. And I just okay, it looks like my everything's stabilized, but just let me know if I'm breaking up or not. Can somebody post in chat really quick? I'm going to wait here for a second. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what's going on. Can somebody post? Anybody? It would be great. Anybody let me know if I'm okay, please? Okay, Judy says no problem. Anybody else? Anybody else having a problem? Okay. Okay, so, okay, good. If I start to break up, please let me know. It looks like I've gone stable now. It's showing that I'm stable again, but please let me know. Okay. I reminded you about the questions. Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's talk about Dallas here for a second. I'm not going to throw banners up today because there's just too many. If you are interested in anything I'm discussing today, I have it in the show notes already, like all of the yarn companies I already have there. One thing I know I didn't put in the show notes is the link to the Dallas Fort Worth Fiber Fest, but I'll get that on the show notes after. But I wanted to just tell you, first of all, it was kind of a cool event. This is the third time I've been there, but this is the first time I have taught there with their new board of directors. And I believe this was the first year that the new board of directors was there, and they were amazing. I can't even tell you as a teacher, but I heard it from all my students as well and the vendors that they just treated everybody wonderfully. We had a great time. As far as I know, there were no issues. I didn't hear of anything. So my students were all well prepared for my classes, which was really cool. So as far as that is concerned, if you ever get a chance to go to DFW Fiber Fest, do it. Do it. It is such a fun event. They had almost 100 vendors there, and I didn't even get to half of them. They actually had a teacher shopping day on the Thursday, excuse me, Thursday night. After the vendors set up, they had a 2-hour teacher shopping, and I hardly got any time in there. And then I only got in the market one other time, and that was on Saturday between my classes that I taught, because one of my students is someone who I know very well and have for a very long time from the Crochet Guild of America. And she asked me if she was in my morning class, and she asked me if between the classes, if I could come down to the market with her, so that she could be, I could be her show and tell for the guild, who I'm going to be teaching class for in March, and I've taught classes for them in the past. That's called the Crochet Texas is the name of the guild. So if you're in Texas, if you're watching this and you're in Texas, check them out. They're one of my favorite guilds ever. So I did get to go down to the market and see all my Crochet Texas people. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw all the pictures of the people I saw. I saw, let's see, Corrine Welsher of Gingy Knits. I saw a bunch of yarn dyers that I'm going to talk about later, that you guys all know from my live streams, my live interviews, excuse me. And a lot of dyers that you probably don't know. I also I'm in a mastermind group, a business mastermind group, and one of my people is actually lives in Irving, Texas. And so she took me out to dinner one night. So I posted about her. And then the just the teachers in general. We had a teacher dinner on Saturday night. My classes went great. And then after the event was over, I spent a couple days with my cousin in Georgetown, Texas. And I got to see a yarn shop there, which I will talk about later too. So I just wanted to say that if Dallas is one of those events, the classes went well. All my classes were full of people. And nothing hiccups, that kind of thing. So I'm really excited about this event and where it's going. So if you are anywhere close to Dallas, next year it's going to be, I believe it's going to be around the 19th and 20th that week of 2024, September. I want to say it's the 19th through the 22nd, but I could be wrong. I mean, there's someone who just popped in. Good morning. Good morning, Dawn. Welcome. I saw that you are new to my channel. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoy it. I was just talking about the Dallas-Fort Worth Fiber Fest, and I'm doing kind of a recap as I was just a teacher there. So I'm really glad you're here. Okay, so I'm going to start talking about the things all the things. So we're going to talk about the yarns first. Okay, so remember, I only got a chance to go to a few of the vendors there. There were almost 100 vendors, or maybe it was 100 vendors. I know it was close to 100 vendors. So it was over 90, that I know. So the first vendor I would go to is Forbidden Fiber. And you guys all know Forbidden Fiber because I've been doing her mystery kits for a long time now. And Forbidden Fiber, and again, all of the links to all of these companies are in the show notes underneath the video on YouTube. So make sure you watch. Oh, I keep hitting my pause, but here we go. I'm going to take that off my keyboard. There we go. So I went to Forbidden Fiber. This is the yarn I got from Forbidden Fiber. It's her Pride base, which has sparkle in it. Can you guys see the sparkle there? And the color is pretty good. I mean, my lighting in my office now is really, really good. So there you go. It's Forbidden Fiber. It's her Pride base. The colorway is Madame Leota. It's from Haunted Mansion. Sorry, guys, I had to think about that for a second. When she actually posted this yarn on her Instagram, and I asked her if she was going to have it at DFW, and she said yes. So I had to go. This was actually the very first booth I went to. So excited about this yarn. It's 70% merino, a superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 10% stellina. It's 495 yards per hank. So these are a little bit bigger. And this 113 grams, 4 ounces of yarn. So this colorway, guys all know me. It's blue. Everything's blue. This has got teal in it though too, which is another one of my colors. I'm going to try to see if I can get all the colors showing there. So you can kind of see all the colors. That's the first one. Oh, and I should show you before I go any further too, is one of the things they give everybody who's there is a tote bag. There's the tote bag. It's got their, their sponsors on the back. But what's really cool is this is really heavy. It's really heavy canvas. It's got a pocket in the front here, and it's got a zippered top to it. So all my yarn is going to go back into this bag, but it's got a zippered top. It's huge. Look at how big this bag is. I mean, this is amazing. So I'm very excited to have this bag. They had a choice of 2 different colors. I got the blue, obviously, and then they had pink. So if you wanted pink, you could have the pink. Okay, so next one. Okay, Judy just said something here that she has her Halloween kit. Yep. Um, cool. Do you have the Halloween one or do you have the Clue? Because Clue is the one I did designed the pattern for. I'm not sure which one you did, Judy. Okay, so the second booth I went to, and you guys all know Allie from my live interview from Savvy Skeins. Um, these are both her tie dyes. This one you guys might remember from her showing. This is her Monarch, the Monarch butterfly one. I was so excited to be able to grab one of these. So, oops, I got upside down. There we go. So Savvy Skeins, again, her link to her website is in the show notes. So this is pretty awesome. I love the Monarch. I can't wait. I already know what I think I want to do with this. I only bought one skein because I had an idea while I was there, and I know it's only going to take one hank. But this is her Sensible sock base. It's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 420 yards for 100 grams. And her colors are amazing. And again, the screen is pretty much showing true to color, what it looks like. But you can see all the white. That's where she does the tie-dye. So the black portion is tie-dyed so that it actually has the white that the what do you call it? The Monarch butterfly has, the white on the black and on the wings. So this is going to be so much fun. And then I also have, this is her African Violet tie-dye as well. You can see where she does the tie-dye. For those of you who watched the live stream, she talked about how she does her tie-dyes. If you haven't, look for on my live in my YouTube channel, my live interviews, and for Allie of Savvy Skeins. She does a really good job of talking about how this is all working. This is her Sensible sock also, in the color African Violet. And with this one's actually going to be a swatch skein for a project that I have a really great idea for. And so she gave me a hank to swatch with, and if it works, I will be designing a project in her yarns for her. So be watching for that as well. So Allie from Savvy Skeins, again, it is the link is in the show notes. Okay. I have to get these off my desk because there's a pile. Okay. Next booth I went to was Chaos Fiber Arts. And I haven't interviewed her yet. I'm going to get her on. I need to contact her now that I'm back and settled in. But this is, she's the yarn dyer that I did It's All About the Donuts shawl. So if you've seen that or heard of that, that pattern, that is my pattern done in her yarns. And this is her, well, I have two different bases here. This is her, fingering base, which is 80% superwash merino wool, 20% nylon. The color is called Riding the Waves. Oh, and the base is Merlin. This is her Merlin base, but it's called Riding the Waves. This is a new colorway for her. And then this is her deluxe fingering in deep blue sea is the color. And this is 75% merino, superwash merino, 25% nylon. This is 460 yards, and this one is 420 yards. But these two are going to be in a project for her as well. So I'm really excited. And again, you guys, it's blue. You know me in blue. So, okay, so that's that. All right, next company. This is a new to me yarn company. You guys may know them. I have never seen them before. They are called Passion Yarns, and I ripped the label on them. But this is her Passion Yarns. They used to be in Chicago. Now they're based in Indiana. And this is her Cherish base. It's in the color Valentine Blush, but that pink just spoke to me. And it is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. Now, the color is very true to life. Might be a little lighter than what you're seeing on the screen, but not by much. And it is I wish you guys could feel how soft this yarn is. This yarn is so, so soft. I love it. I have a couple ideas of what to do with this. So be watching for that as well. And I also had to get one of her sock yarns. This is her beloved sock base, which is 75% merino, 25% nylon, 460 yards in her holiday stripes. Because if you know me, I love Christmas. Absolutely love Christmas. So I am going to be making myself a pair of Christmas socks because believe it or not, I don't have any, at least not handmade. So I'm going to be making myself some Christmas socks. But I had to show you this yarn. It's just a super base. It's really soft for having 25% nylon in it. So I'm excited to do that too. And I don't know if you guys can see the colors in there. You can see the green. It's just the traditional red, green, and white. Nothing fancy other than the red, green, and white. So I'm going to be doing that. But this yarn is, the color is just amazing. I just saw Renee said I picked out some gorgeous yarn, and I really did. I really picked out some really pretty colors. But wait till you see the next one. If you think these are nice, I have to tell the story before I show the yarn. When I flew out, I had to drive up to my daughter's house. I flew out of Spokane, and I had to go from Spokane to Denver and then Denver to Dallas. And so I was in Denver. I had gotten on the plane, and I'm one of those people that has to be on when you're facing the back of the plane, I have to be on the right on the aisle so that I can crochet with my arm in the aisle because I'm right-handed. So I had gotten on the plane, got an aisle seat. There was a gal sitting on the window seat, and I fly Southwest when I teach because they allow me to check bags for free. So I get to pick my seat when I'm getting on. If you've never flown Southwest, that's how it works. So I got on my seat, I pulled out my crochet because I always have to be crocheting when we take off. Otherwise, I get a little bit panicked. It's nothing big. It's not like a full-blown panic attack, but just that feeling of coming off the ground for me is really hard on me. So crocheting has always tempered that. So I had my crochet out. I was just sitting in my lap. I hadn't pulled it out of the bag yet. And this gal comes in and she says, can I take that center seat? So she did. And she saw my bag and immediately said, are you going to Dallas? And I was looking at her and I kept thinking, I know you from somewhere. Well, I did meet her in Loveland in April. Her name is Jennifer Miller, and she is the dyer for Theodora Pearls. And I'm going to show you her yarn in a second. But we got to chatting and, she saw some of the work I have done and she realized who I was. And so she told me to come by the booth and she wanted me to design something in her yarns. So she gave me 3 skeins. I didn't have to pay for these. She gave them so that I could design something. Her yarns, she is actually a PhD and she in some sort of chemical, it's not chemical engineering, but something in that. And she took that degree and went into what she calls reactive dyeing. And I'd like to get her on my interview series to talk about how she dyes her yarns. But she does 100% bamboo yarn. So here are the yarns. Are those amazing colors? Can you see the sheen? Is the light giving you the sheen on this bamboo? This is 100% fingering weight bamboo yarn that she dyes. Theodora Pearls is her brand. Again, her link is in the show notes. I do know that she doesn't have much on her site right now because she's headed to, if you're anywhere near Mississippi, she's headed to Fiber in the SIP. And so I think all of her inventory is with her there. So she has a little bit online, but you may want to wait till after this weekend to get on her website to see all of her colors. But oh my gosh, these colors are gorgeous. So this is 100% bamboo. It's her oxanometer base, 4-ply fingering weight, 115 grams, approximately 400 yards. And so these are the colors. This blue is called Deep Space. Can you see that shine? Holy cow, that's amazing, that shine. Then this one is Raspberry Beret, like the Prince song, Raspberry Beret. And you can see this is a little more tonal. You've got some dark and then it gets a little lighter. This is more tonal. And then this one is called Goldenrod. It's kind of got a lime green going in there. It's again another tonal compared to the deep space. But aren't these gorgeous? So I've got 1,200 yards here that I'm going to be designing something for her as well. So you'll be seeing these in the future. So hopefully soon. Okay. So the last one that I got to go see at the show is someone who I've been following on Instagram for a while. And I've been following her because she has a unique spin on what she dyes. And she's relatively new. I think she's either 4 or 5 years old. I can't remember. And she's very young. She's probably in her, I don't know, I'd say late 20s. I mean, she's very young. She has little kids. But she dyes, and I specifically had to go see her because I have a lot of people who are allergic to wools of all kinds, merino, even alpacas sometimes, and they need something else. And so she dyes 100% acrylic. And the way she started, she was trying to make some acrylic blankets. I don't know if they were for charity or something, but she needed a color, didn't have it. She tried dyeing, and that's when her business took off. I don't think she has lace weight, but she does do finger, excuse me. My voice still hasn't come back from the event, so I might be fading in and out. But she has everything from fingering to bulky weight. She didn't have a whole lot of fingering with her because at the last show she was at, not a lot of people wanted fingering, but she did bring some because she also crocheted my Into the Deep cowl, which was the make along for the Dallas Fort Worth Fiber Fest. And so I did buy 3 hanks from her. Now this is really cool. Here's one of them. This one is sport. This one is fingering weight. It is the colorway Coral Reef. Look at that. It's 675 yards in one hank. And actually this is 85 acrylic, 15% nylon. And it is all of these for 675 yards. They are $21. So you can actually make a shawlette with 1 hank of this yarn. Isn't this gorgeous? This Coral Reef is just gorgeous. Then I got her Geneva Steel, which is a blue with like a peach in there here, right here. There's some pinks in here. I don't know if you can see the pinks on the screen. Oh, here's the pink right there. Coral. This is again 675 yards, 85 acrylic, 15% merino. I mean nylon, not merino. 15% merino, hand dyed. I have never seen hand dyed acrylic look like this. This is just gorgeous. Look at her colors. They're amazing. And so that's those 2. And then I got one more, which is her Enemies to Lovers colorway. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? I am so impressed with her dyeing process. She's been around for a little bit, but this yarn, again, $21 for 675 yards. Of course, it's acrylic, but it's super soft. I don't know how she treats it, but it is so soft. Acrylic, well, 85% acrylic, 15% nylon. Sorry, it's not 100% acrylic. But look at the sheen. It almost has a sheen like a bamboo or silk. Or it's gorgeous. I've never had acrylic this soft. So if you are interested in that, make sure that you check out her website. She's actually on Etsy. I have the link in the show notes, so make sure you check her out. But she's Yarn for the Masses. She is amazing, and I want to bring her on my live stream as well for the interviews. So there's that. Okay. Now I have one more yarn I want to show you. And I have to tell you, I mentioned earlier that I went to my cousin's in Georgetown and spent a couple of days with her. And man, my voice. Hang on a sec. I need some coffee. Okay. Okay. Um, so I went to my cousin's, and every time I go to see her, she brings me to this little yarn shop, and it's a little hole in the wall, hardly any yarns. But she said to me this time, the knitting cup moved, and they moved into a house. And so I haven't gone yet. She's a seamstress. So I was always looking at fabrics. But oh, and I should mention, while I was there, she asked me to get her started on crochet again, so she could make, she would like to crochet herself a cardigan to go with her sewn outfits and stuff like that. So we got her started. So we went to the shop to get her some yarn. And as we're wandering around, one of the things we noticed in the shop, first of all, is huge. I mean, she had rooms for all these yarns. She had a lot of the basics of Barocco and the Noros and the Malabrigos and, all of the big name companies there. But she also had this one, which is Arcane Fiber Works in Canada. So I had to buy one of theirs because I've been wanting to get their yarns. Isn't this gorgeous? It's called Heart of the Brave. It's 80/20 merino nylon, 435 yards in 100 grams, fingering weight. Isn't that pretty? It's just very neutral colors with some blue in there, of course, and the green. That green really got me too. But Arcane, I don't know, Judy, if you know them. I can't remember where they're based out of. They're in Canada, somewhere in Canada. And I've been wanting to grab some of their yarns, but shipping costs have been a little high. So this was a good way for me to try out their yarn. And so I bought this yarn. And so I'm excited to use this as well. And Arcane's website is also in the show notes if you're interested. But he is an amazing dyer, and I've been dying to try this. And it came in a cute little bag from the shop. But the shop is great. If you ever get to Georgetown, Texas, the Knitting Cup is the name. It's Fine Yarns and Tees. She also has tees there. I forgot about that. But she also had fabric, which was interesting because my cousin Kelly has been looking for linen fabric for a while and hasn't found any good quality. And we walked by this wall, and there was stacked up all this linen in bolts on the wall in different colors. And oh my goodness, she was all excited. So I know she's going to be back, and I'm sure I'm going to get a text with a picture of the yarn or the fabric she bought there too. So if you are interested in linen and you are in Texas, you might want to check out the shop because they have linen fabric as well. So I'm very excited about that shop. So, okay, so you have seen my whole stash of yarn that I got at DFW. I just saw some notes. Some people come in. Kelly's here. Good morning, Kelly. Good to see you. I'm so glad. For the synthetic fibers, I cannot remember what she said she used, but I want to get her on the interview. So I hopefully on the interview live streams. So hopefully she will tell us what she uses. And you also said, I'm sure it was Arcane because you said his. I can't think of his first name right now, but yes, I'm glad you carry it too. There's not a whole lot of shops in this area, well, here at all. We only have one shop that's really local, and she doesn't carry his yarn. So, and then Judy says, I bought some Arcane fiber. He's one of my favorite Canadian dyers. Yeah. Oh, Alberta. Okay. Perfect. Couldn't remember where he was from. Thank you, Judy, for that. Okay. Tyler. Oh, yes. Tyler might be his name. Yes. That sounds right. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Hi, Francis. I just saw, oh my goodness, it's 5:30 a.m. Good morning. I'm glad you were able to pop in. You missed all the yarn that I was just showing. Like, make sure you watch the replay because I have a lot to share. I also wanted to share, anybody have any questions on any of that before I move on to the next topic? I did tell you that I had a lot this time. So let me know any questions, any comments. But the yarns are amazing. And all of the yarns, the links to all the yarns are in the show notes. Oh, got a label stuck here. Okay. Good morning, Deborah. Oh, the yarn was exciting. I know. I can now. I got to get it all on my shelf. Good morning, Deborah. Though, thanks for being here. I'm so glad that you popped in. Okay, so next thing that's new in the studio. Oh, I should show you this before I move on to the new stuff in the studio. This is from DFW too. In those bags that I showed you before, I showed you all the yarn that they gave us. They gave us this this ring that's open and closes, and it's made purposely because one of the things DFW does is a stitch marker swap, and people make 50 or more stitch markers, or they buy them. Some people buy them for this, and they put them on these rings. And then when you see someone else who is trading, you can trade back and forth one of the stitch markers you made or bought for one of theirs. Now, I didn't do that because I just did not have the time between my mom passing away and all the things I had to get ready for the event. But I did get a few stitch markers from people who just wanted to give them to me. So this ring was in the bag. These are Jingle Bells. I'm really excited to do my Christmas socks with those. These are from Crochet Texas. The president of Crochet Texas wanted to give me a couple, so she gave me a couple. And then this one is from Passion Yarns. She also gave me one. It just says Passion Yarns on it. But this is a really great little ring. I might just stick some of my stitch markers on this and throw it in my project bag so that I always have my stitch markers with me. So that was one thing. And then the bag also had other things. It had a pen. Here's a pen. It had, all of the floor plan of the entire vendor market. It had a program for the entire event with all the things that were going on, because they did things like free crochet lessons, free knit lessons. Some of the booths had free lessons, and those were all listed in the program. They do a lot. I mean, they have meeting areas in the vendor market, so all the groups could meet. So like I mentioned before, Crochet Texas had a guild meeting there. They had teachers that would come in that weren't teaching in the big classes, but would do like little mini lessons at a table somewhere. They had Willie from Willy Nilly Knits there. He was kind of their social media thing. So if you follow Willy Nilly Knits on Instagram, I highly recommend it because you can go through and see all of the things from the market and from this show. He was kind of like their person, their influencer type thing. And he showed a lot. He came into my classroom. He did a lot of stuff. So you can check him out as well. So that is, and then they had like a Frisbee in there. They had for everybody who was a student, they had friendship bracelets that allowed you into the market. So if you had one of their friendship bracelets that were made, you could go into the market. If you bought a ticket because you were not a student, they gave you something else to do that. So I got one of those too. I don't know what I did with it though. It was here, but now it's probably in a drawer because I was clearing off my desk. But yeah, so this event has a lot of cool, neat things. So definitely check out Dallas Fort Worth Fiber Fest. Okay. For those of you who are late to the show, hang on one second here. I need to go here and let you know I'm giving away a copy of the honeycomb cowl pattern. That's the one that was just released. So if you're interested in winning this cowl, I'm going to share this. You're going to type in the comments, #honey. #honey. So if you're interested in entering to win, make sure you do that. I know a lot of people here might already have it. But if you don't have it and are interested, go ahead and enter to win. I'm going to take that off for a second. Okay, so now that I've done the giveaway again, I have 2 new books in the studio. The first one is from Kate Davies. I don't know if you guys know Kate Davies, but she is a Scottish designer. She designs a knit. This is a knitting book. but her husband is a photographer. So they kind of join forces whenever she releases a book. And all of her books are based on places in Scotland, the Fair Isles, all that area. So this one is from a place called Davar. I'm going to call it Davar. I don't know if that's exactly how you say it, but I love her work. If you've ever heard of the Carbeth cardigan, that's her. She is a designer who started designing later on in life. She used to be, I want to say, an electronic engineer. And in her early 30s, she had a stroke and could no longer do her career. And somehow, I don't know the whole story, but somehow out of that, she started knitting and then she started designing. And she's an amazing designer. And I think it's that math science brain of hers. Her constructions are so cool. I love her stuff. So when this book came out, I had to have it because she posted in her blog this sweater, and I'm like, I need to make that sweater. But I wanted to show you some of the pictures in here. So her husband, like I said, is a photographer. So here's the inside cover. And she talks about, in the introduction, about Davar. I don't know how to say it. She's got a poem in there. You can see all the pictures of the area she's in. This is where she took all the pictures of her samples. It's neither sea or land. It's made out of coral. She talks about all of this. So here's Davar with low tide. You can see the coral reefs and the sandbars and stuff that are underneath. And so let me just, and here it is when it's high tide. You can see the area between the islands is now gone. So she talks about all of that in here too. And she talks about the the lighthouses and all sorts of stuff in here. But I want to get to the patterns. There's a lot of history here. I mean, it's really cool. But this is Iola. That's this is the pattern that I absolutely have to make. I don't know if you can see it, but she's got cables down the front and the sleeves. But this is a really great book. If you're interested in knitted garments, she's got some great garments. There's a cowl or a scarf / shawlette. She's got hats in here. Colorful mitts, all sorts of stuff. Oh, I love this sweater. This is another one I might have to make. Not gorgeous. And then she's got a men's version too. So if you have a man to knit for, she's got it cut with wider shoulders for men. She's got Fair Isle hats. She's even got a knitted water bottle cover. Really great book. So if you are interested in, she's got a blanket pattern in there. If you are interested in knitting patterns at all, I highly recommend Kate Davies. I will put her website on the show notes. I forgot to do that. But this book, amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay. I got a second book, and some of you have seen this if you're part of the crochet crew already. This is The Joy of Yarn from Marie Green. She's another amazing person. She talks about stash, about how to work with the color wheel in here, keeping your stash safe and tidy, all sorts of stuff. I told everybody that I was going to go to Dallas and go through this book, but I did not. It came with me, but it never got opened because I had so much going on. But this is another book I recommend. Marie Green is amazing. I love her design work as well. So if you've never heard of Marie Green, she is also a knitter. So I'm going to let you know that everything in here are knit patterns. She doesn't have very many patterns, but she has, I think, 10 knitting patterns. So this is also a knit book, but I'm going to take what she talks about, especially on stash, and translate it into crochet and how to do all the color wheel stuff in crochet. I love Marie's book. I love Marie's book. I see that Kelly has Marie's book too. So yay. Okay. That was a lot. I mean, that was a lot. I feel like I have just run a marathon. Is that crazy? I mean, honestly. Okay, where's my list? Okay, anybody have any questions for me? This is where it's gonna, nobody put in any cues that I can see in here. But does anybody have a question for me that they want to ask that maybe wasn't on anything that I just talked about? I could use a break on talking that stuff, so I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. But if you guys have anything you want to ask me about, let me know. Because I still have more. Nope. Has my signals been stable? I saw a couple of times it went up and said it was unstable, but nobody seemed to say anything that the connection was unstable. So let me know. Okay. Okay. If you have a question, oh, good. Let's see. About the acrylic dyeing. Okay, I will make sure I get her on. Her name is Alyssa. I'm going to see if I can get her on to talk about the dyeing. I think that's awesome. And Pat says, I'm assuming the thumbs up means my internet has been stable enough that I haven't broken up or anything. Okay, perfect. Okay, so coming up, there's a few things that are going to be coming up. First of all, October, if you didn't know, October is known as Socktober in knit and crochet circles. There's other names for October too. There's other things that go on in October, but for the knit and crochet world, it seems that Socktober is the big thing because we are now in fall. Yay, happy fall. Cooler weathers, and most people want to start bringing out all their woolies and their hand knit socks and hand crocheted socks, hand crocheted garments, whatever. Now's the time to start thinking about that. So that's kind of where Socktober came from, is, people wanting to refresh their sock drawers, things like that. So starting next week, hopefully you all are all subscribed into my newsletter. If you're not, in the show notes, I have a link to subscribe to my newsletter. Make sure you do that. I am going to be doing once a week a newsletter that talks about crocheting socks. Even if you've never crocheted socks, I'm going to start with how to pick yarns. I'm going to talk about how to do the cuff and the leg, and how to turn a heel and a gusset, and the foot and the toe. We're going to talk about that. I'm not going to do huge lessons, but I'm going to give you some of the background information that you need to know to help you do a pattern. So I have several patterns. You guys know I love socks. I have several crochet patterns. I have a crochet sock. Okay. I have several crochet sock patterns, and I have a sock book on my website that are all self-published. Those are going to be on sale 15% off for the month of October. So if you've been wanting to do socks and or been wanting to buy those, watch for the first newsletter in October, because that's when I'm going to announce the sale. And then every newsletter after that will have the information about the sale. But I'm going to announce it on Tuesday the 3rd. I have to look at my calendar. And then but we're going to talk about it, because a lot of people don't get how to turn a heel, what it means to turn a heel. They are afraid of it. And there's nothing to be afraid of, especially in crochet. In knitting, if you're knitting socks, you can easily drop stitches with turning a heel all the time. But crochet, because you only have that one little loop that you have to worry about, I mean, you've got to make your stitches. But if you miss a stitch or you drop a stitch, you guys know how easy it is to just go back and do that stitch. So I don't want people to be afraid. I'm going to teach how to do a heel flap and gusset. I'm just going to give you the instructions. I'm not going to necessarily do a video on it, but I am going to do a little bit of video work for this month as well as for socks. It's not going to be a full-blown class, but you're going to have little clips on my Instagram of me doing socks. I'm going to be actually using this sock yarn, which is from Sadie at Rose and Roses Fiber, Yarn and Fiber. She was on my live stream, I think in March. as a dyer. This is the yarn I got from her. I've already talked to her about using this for the month of October. So you're going to see me actually making socks with this in crochet. We are going to have little videos. I mean, it won't be anything like what I do for the patterns, but just talking about it and introducing socks and not being afraid. In the new year, I am going to teach a sock class. So, but this is kind of a prep for that. And it's also to just get people talking about crocheted socks again. Because knitting seems to hijack Socktober. So I want to make sure that there's some crochet out there for socks. So be watching for that. And if you're not on my newsletter, let me get the link for you, put it in chat here really quick. Do I still have it here? I don't. Hang on a second. I gotta go somewhere else to get it. Hang on. YouTube, there it is. I have too many links to subscribe. So hang on. Okay, there we go. Sorry, guys. There we go. Oh, that's not right. Why did that not copy? There we go. There you go. There's the link. Okay, so I saw a couple things here. Hang on. Linda says, my computer has been unstable, but I am able to keep up with you. I'm glad. Okay. Deborah says you enjoy making blankets from acrylic in hats too. Okay, definitely check out Yarn for the Masses. She's got so much stuff out there, different colors. She's great, awesome to work with. Kelly says, I love my crochet socks mainly because I can finish them quickly. Yes, compared to knitting, yes, you can finish them so quick. Francis says, I got crocheted socks on as I listen, only wear handmade socks. I've got my handmade socks on now too. I do have socks that I wear during the summer that aren't handmade, because if I wear my handmade, they're too hot and then they sweat through them, and man, I can't wear them during the summer. So that's kind of what I do. Okay, Linda says, oh boy, socks. Yay. Can I crochet a sock from Sport or DK to learn? Absolutely. To learn the process, yes. I don't recommend those as actually really socks, because most of the time Sport or DK does not fit in a shoe. Sport, you might be able to get the gauge down thin enough that you could, but they're a little bit bulkier than fingering, so they will make socks be too bulky for your shoes sometimes. But I consider those slippers more than socks. I will do socks even in lace weight, so if I want them really thin. So, and what I'm going to teach in the class in the new year is more about how to take a pattern and customize it to your foot. So, so you can make them fit you and not just these standard sizes. So I want them for a winter sock. Oh, yeah, the thicker socks with your boots would be fine, as long as you've got the space for them. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody else? I just posted in the chat the link to subscribe to my newsletter if you're not already subscribed. So make sure you do that. It's also in the show notes. So, but I want to make sure people who might want it now, can do that. Okay. Okay. So, any questions on anything else you want to ask me about socks before I go forward? Okay. All right. So last thing before we do the drying, and I answer more questions. After this, I'll answer any questions you guys have. there's something else is new starting in October 1st. And you guys will know that this live stream started during COVID, because I was missing people, you guys were missing people, and it just kind of grew. And I was doing it every week for a long, long time. And then because of things changing in my life, I had to go to twice a month for a while. And then lately it's only been once a month because between my mom passing away and the events I've been teaching at and stuff, I just having to, and then I couldn't do the live interviews because most people didn't want to do them during the summer. So I had to stop. So there's a couple things. First of all, live interviews. I have no one scheduled for October. That is because I've been a crazy woman. My mom passing away, it just threw everything into a tailspin. And part of what I did when I was on the plane and in my room after classes, and when I had a quiet time to myself over the last couple of weeks, is go through all of the things that I've done for my business and try to prioritize what's most important. And this live stream has always been important. So I want you guys to know that it's not because it's not important. I have always wanted this to be important. However, there are other things in my life that I need to deal with. And so I tried to figure out a way to make these live streams either more often or more informative for you guys, that kind of thing. So the live stream is not going to go away. I am going to try to do them every last Wednesday of the month, whether it's the fourth Wednesday or the fifth Wednesday. I'm going to try to do that. Can't guarantee it's going to happen every single month, but I am definitely going to try to do that. But the live interviews, I probably, since I wasn't able to get anybody for October, and I probably won't have anybody that wants to do October on such a short notice. And as you guys know, I only do interviews with dyers that I have met and used their yarns or got to know their yarns. So I mean, I'm not going to do somebody I would not recommend. Let's put it that way. So I do have to vet new people as you guys give me names. So if you could have somebody you would like me to interview that I have not talked about, definitely shoot me an email and let me know, or put it in the comments here on YouTube if you're watching after the fact, because I want to check out new dyers. I mean, I'm always looking for new dyers. But I decided with the live stream interviews, I'm going to wait until January because the holidays are coming. I know I'm not going to get anybody for November and December. Just in talking to dyers, nobody wants to do anything like that in those 2 months because they're so busy with selling yarns that they don't really have the time to do anything other than dyeing yarn. Does that make sense? And plus, they want to spend time with their families. So taking away an hour or so from their schedule is not a good idea. So I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to try, starting in January, I'm going to bring those back. I apologize for those of you who are looking forward to something towards the end of the year. I just know from the dyers I've talked to already, that's going to be a no-go. So, but you guys can still send me names of dyers you'd like me to interview. I will definitely, the ones I talked about today, the Yarn for the Masses, Chaos Fiber, Passion Yarns, all those that I have yarns from, I will definitely get them on the schedule. So that's that. But in the meantime, I don't want to go live every week anymore because it just takes a lot of time out of my schedule. And there's a lot of other things that since my mom's passing, I've discovered that I need to take the time for, and I haven't been able to do that. So I had to restructure a couple things. So what I am going to be doing going forward is I am going to do some pre-recorded Wednesday podcast style things. So I'm going to start next week. And what it's going to do is it's going to allow me to get through all the things I have to get through to share with you guys, because there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. I want to share with you. It also gives me the time to actually put together some educational things. So like next month is Socktober. So in the podcast, I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, But in the podcast, you guys are going to get some extra stuff that isn't in my actual social media. I might give you a little lesson on how to do a cuff, or I might give you a little lesson on how to do a heel, that kind of thing in those live streams, because that'll allow me to not have to do it off the cuff on screen, have my video go out, all that stuff. You know, a lot of times I've done on live streams where the sound disappears. I don't want that to happen anymore. So that's what I'm going to start doing, if that makes sense. I still want to do live streams. It's not going away completely. So my plan is the last Wednesday of the month, whether it's the 4th or the 5th, the 4th or the 5th. I can't talk anymore. I can't count anymore is really what it is. But I want to be able to still get on live and answer questions live and talk to you guys live and all that stuff. But in the interim, in between those lives, I want to still do something, because this is so important. Video is so important. Learning new things is important. And also just seeing what's going on behind the scenes is important. So that's going to start happening next week. They'll still go up on Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. Pacific, just like I do now, but it'll be just a pre-recorded video. But I'm going to do different sections. So there's going to be like what's new in the studio, what I'm working on. There'll be an educational piece. But I also want you to ask me questions. Okay, so after this live stream is over, this is the first one, I'm going to ask you to do this. If you have something you want to ask me about, or if there's something you want to comment about on this live stream that I just am doing right now, after, don't post it in the chat. Post it in the comments under the video on YouTube. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a comment section where I'm going to go through and read some of the comments that came in after the video. And I'm going to do that every week. I'm going to go through the comments. If you have a story you want to tell me about your crochet, or you worked on a pattern of mine, I want you to do that too. So post a picture. If you can't post a picture, I don't think you can post a picture on Instagram or on YouTube. So send me an email, shoot me an email. Excuse me, shoot me an email with a photo and I will share it on these live streams. I want to have sections, you know, where you guys are involved. So ask me questions, leave me comments, send me pictures. Those will all be on my live stream next week, or as many as I can get in an hour's time frame or so. I want to be an hour or less with these, and then make the live streams like today. We are going long today. It's already an hour and 3 minutes. I've been live, but I had a lot to get through today, and I wanted to make sure I told you guys about all of the stuff that's going on. So does anybody have any questions on that, or comments, or anything that you would like me to cover? Next month is all going to be socks for the most part, unless something comes up with like the pattern I'm releasing next month or that kind of thing. I may do a little mini how-to on something there as well. So let me know. Let's see. Deborah says, I totally agree and understand. It's time to knit and crochet with all the yarn we have. Time is a gift. Take care of yourself. That's the other thing, you guys. The one thing most of you guys know that are here, that, you know, I'm a cancer survivor. And I had my last treatment 2 weeks before my daughter went into the hospital with preeclampsia. And I never really took care of me. And I noticed it in Dallas, that I can't do the things that I used to be able to do. I needed to be in bed by 9 o'clock. It was just, I'm tired. I need to take care of me too. So that's another thing that I just need to mention. So yeah, it's taking care of myself. Taking care of myself so I can be here for my family is so important too. Francis says, you have to have good Karen Faith live YouTube balance. Yes, this sounds like a plan that can work. Because I can pre-plan what I'm going to say. It won't go so long. I won't have to do multiple takes, and I can do them in between projects because I have my cameras all set up. It's just a matter of doing it. So, and I'm planning to do things so that not only will I share them on YouTube, but I'll share them on Instagram and Facebook and things like that. The YouTube will be the full thing. I'll just do like reels or little stories or something using some of the video from from the lives, the podcast. But if anybody has a good name for a podcast for me, I mean, I just don't want to say Karen Hooley Designs Podcast. So if you guys have an idea of a name, shoot it in the comments as well, especially if you're watching after the fact too. If you have an idea for a good name that has to do with, it could be Team Hooligan, it could be Karen Hooley, it could be crochet, something. If you have a name, let me know. Thank you, Francis, for adding me to your rosary intentions. I appreciate that. I could definitely need some prayers right now. I'm still dealing with, my mom's only been gone 2 months now, and it's still difficult to deal with. Renee, will pre-record podcast be once a month? No, it is going to be weekly. It is going to be weekly because I have to do so much video for other things. I'm just going to batch everything in one day. So probably, excuse me. My throat has not recovered from Dallas yet. So I apologize. I lose my voice whenever I'm teaching for a weekend event, and I'm still not there yet. No, I have a lot of video that I need to catch up on and do. So I'm going to be batching my videos. Mondays and Tuesdays are going to be my video days. That probably Monday afternoons and then all of Tuesday are going to be my video days. And so I will be releasing them every week. At least that's the plan right now. And I'll let you guys know if it changes. But it's going to be a weekly thing. But I definitely want you to watch and interact, and you don't have to watch the day it drops, but definitely if you have a comment about something, so important to put it in the comments, because the next week when I do the pre-recorded video, I'm going to be looking at all your comments and questions and stuff, and in talking about those in the next week. So that's so important. Linda says, you are my daily rosary. I'm cancer free since 98, but I tire easily. I can sleep at the drop of a hat. Yes. Yes. I mean, since I've been home, I got home on the 20th, evening of the 20th. I don't think there has been one night that I have been awake until 9 o'clock watching a television show, even with crochet or knit in my lap. So dropping the hat, I had to take melatonin when I was at the event because I was so keyed up. I couldn't fall asleep. My brain was going, but since I've gotten home and haven't had to be keyed up, I have been falling asleep early. I've been getting up early too. 5:30 is about the time I get up in the morning these days. So, and that's just a normal thing for me. I've always been an early riser. So, especially when I had kids, I'm sick if I sleep in past 6 o'clock. I'm sick. So that's key. Okay. Francis says, I know about mom's. Mine was a week after yours. Oh, that's right. Francis, I'm so sorry. That's right. So you and I are kind of in that same place of grieving. And I haven't grieved as much as I should, probably because I had Dallas, but I have a feeling I'm going to fall apart in the next few days. So there's another reason. So I hope you're doing well. Mom's oncology nurse told me the first year is the hardest, the second is a bit better. Yes. And I am actually, I just had my, I don't know how I told you guys this. I haven't talked to you guys. I did have my 1 year checkup at the end of August, and I am still cancer free. I have one more to take. I have one more 6-month appointment in March. And then if that's still clear, then I go to yearly checks, which I cannot wait for, because I hate these checks. So if I can only do them once a year, I'd be thrilled. So keep me in your prayers so we can continue on this cancer-free. And every year, every year gets better. It should. I mean, I just need to start taking care of myself more and stop. I'm doing everything for everybody else, and I always put myself last, and I need to start putting myself first a little bit. And that's one of the things that came out of losing mom, was that I need to put myself first once in a while. Not all the time. I'm going to cry, but I need to put myself once in a while. So, but yes, it is exciting, Deborah. I'm so excited to be cancer free. You have no idea. And actually, I was given the go ahead to start donating blood again. So I'm going to be doing that again. To me, that's really important. I don't know about you guys, but I have a on the rare side. I'm not the rarest blood type, but I'm an AB positive, and there's not a lot of people with AB positive. So I try to give blood when I can. There for a while, they wouldn't let me do it. And then I finally was able to do it again because I have being Italian is wonderful. I love being Italian, but there's little genetic things in Italians, like giving blood. I have some enzyme because it's only in the Italians that wouldn't allow me to donate blood for a long time. But now they are letting us donate blood. I just can't give plasma. So I can get back to donating blood again, which is amazing because it's so important with people in my blood type to have a stash of blood. So that's so important to me. So I'm probably going to sometime next month schedule my first one since I was diagnosed with cancer. So I'm very excited to do that. I know that sounds weird, but that's something that's exciting to me. Yes, experiencing pure joy, being cancer-free. Yep, that's it. Okay, so that's what's happening with the live streams. So I'm still going to try, and as long as I'm not going somewhere or something is not happening here, I'm still going to go live the last Wednesday of the month, whatever that is. It's either the 4th or the 5th, depending on the month. So it'll always be the last Wednesday. But as far as the podcast, the live Wednesdays, between those live streams will be pre-recorded. Now, there may be a week where nothing's going on, and I may just do a really short one where it's just like maybe show you what I'm working on, and you guys didn't ask me a whole lot of questions, and that'll happen. But I want them to be between 30 minutes and an hour, no longer than an hour each. So that's one of the things I'm going to be doing. So any questions on that? That's a lot. I feel like I mean, no wonder I'm starting to cough and feel my throat close up. Is because I've been talking a lot, haven't I? Okay. I'm just going to throw it out there for questions. I am out of coffee, so I can't clear my throat. So you might hear me going in and out. But does anybody have any questions for me before I go? I'm going to do the drawing here in a sec, but I want to just make sure I've answered all your questions first. Okay, I'm going to do the drawing and then I'll come back. So if you haven't already entered, make sure you type in hashtag honey. And I'm going to count back from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and draw. Pat, congratulations. I'm so excited, Pat. So Pat, what I'm going to have you do, because of all the website changes I've had recently, I'm going to ask that you email me at giveaway@karenhooley.com. I've created a special email address for the giveaways now. So giveaway@karenhooley.com with the email address you want me to send the pattern to. And what I will do is if you don't have an account in my system, I will create an account for you. So you'll have some notifications about the account. And then I will put the pattern in your account so that you can always go back and download it again if you need to. So make sure you send me a note at giveaway@karenhooley.com. And I'm so excited. So everybody who's entered, you're welcome. You're welcome, Pat. Congratulations. Everybody's congratulating you. I should probably do my confetti. There's my confetti. Okay. I am going to take that off screen. So Pat, don't forget to shoot me an email. Anybody have any questions before I sign off? Anything? I'm just going to make sure that I've got everything answered here really quick. I'm going to scroll through. Looks like. Don't forget to type the Q so I don't miss it. That's part of the problem. And thank you, Renee, for doing the one with the question mark or the Q, because that helped me find yours. Anybody else? Okay. Oh, hello. You just got home from work. I'm glad you got here. Watch the replay. I've got lots going on today. So definitely watch the replay. And I have all of the show notes. I'm going to add to the show notes a couple things really quick. I cannot talk today. Really quick, a couple links that I didn't put up before I got there. Thank you for a lovely visit. Yes, thank you for being here, Francis. I know it's so early your time, and I'm sending you a hug, and you are in my prayers too. So know that. Okay. Well, then I am going to sign off. You guys have a super fantastic week. I will see you next time. Live on the October 25th will be my next live. And then in between, I'll be doing my pre-recorded stream. So make sure you leave me comments in the comment section. Don't use them in the live stream. Leave them in the comment section, especially for those of you who are watching after the fact. Any questions, any comments, any crochet stories. If you've worked on one of my patterns and want to show it off, send me a photo. If you don't want, I'll put my email address in the show notes too, so that you guys know where to go. But blessings all around. Have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend, and I will see you all in October. Bye now.